Got another depressing one for you here, friends. Afghanistan is dealing with a surge in hunger suicides, people who choose to take their own life instead of dying of hunger or watching their families die of hunger. This is what more than 2 decades of U.S. war and economic siege has done to the country. UK's Prospect magazine spoke with doctors in Afghanistan who said that suicides have tripled since last August, since around the time when the Taliban took back power and the U.S. responded by freezing billions of dollars in assets belonging to the Afghan people in hopes of starving out the regime. Instead, it's the Afghan people who are being starved, with more than half the population, 23 million people, facing hunger. It's estimated that 3 or 4 people have been dying daily of hunger suicides, increasing from an average of 20 per month last year to between 100 and 120 per month now. Last month, under pressure from international groups to address the hunger crisis, the U.S. agreed to release some of Afghanistan's frozen funds, but only through humanitarian aid organizations operating in the country, a move that will make State Department contractors rich. President Joe Biden said the U.S. was keeping the rest of the money, though, to pay out settlements to 9/11 victims' families who sued the Afghan government. Of course, the Afghan people are just as much victims of 9/11 as the individuals in the World Trade Center. At least 1 million children are at risk of dying of starvation in Afghanistan today as a result of U.S. war making following the attacks. U.S. has, of course, not faced a single economic sanction for this war and siege. To the extent that there is such a thing as a rules-based international order, something you hear a lot about after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, it clearly only applies to European people suffering and not those who have been victimized for decades by Western imperialism in Central Asia, the Middle East, and the global South. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.